Hello, Nexomania Development League, and anyone else who may be watching. I'm Silver Spy. I've been playing Heroes for multiple years now, and I've been involved with competitive play for most of that time. Today, I'll be going over Infernal Shrines at a basic level. We'll first cover the map mechanics, before giving an overview of some strategies you can use here. I'll preface this by saying Shrines is an extremely flexible map. You can run practically any strategy or comp in some form, so don't take this as an exhaustive guide. So let's get into it. Infernal Shrines is a medium, 3-lane map. It has 3 Impaler camps here, here, and here, which functions similarly to normal siege camps. It also has 2 Shaman camps here and here, which are roughly equivalent to Bruiser camps. The big difference is that instead of giving passive spell armor, which incentivizes your team to push with it, these camps are much better at split pushing, as a shaman can infinitely summon dogs to throw at buildings. Left unattended, and with a little tower aggro luck, one of these camps can run straight through a fort or keep by itself. The main feature of this map, of course, is its objective. Objectives can spawn in one of these 3 locations: here, here, or here, which is mostly random. When activated, you will begin spawning special shrine minions. Kill 40 of these minions to spawn one of 3 devastating punishers to push down the corresponding lane. Frozen punishers can disable buildings and root heroes, and arcane and mortar punishers can deal high damage to enemy units nearby. All punishers also have a jump attack, where they leap at an enemy hero they can see, stunning and pummeling for high damage over a few seconds. This wraps up the basic mechanics overview, although I encourage you to investigate further on the HOTS wiki. There are timings and patterns there that you can exploit to your advantage, such as the cooldown of the Punisher jump, how much damage different Punishers do, and how much time they root for, camp timings, etc. So let's talk some basic strategy. First, lane setups. This one's pretty easy, as most teams play with the offlane top, and the 4-man rotating from mid to bot lane. Mid and bot has these 3 Shaman, or Impaler camps, that you can fight over, incentivizing you to control this space. It's very beneficial for your offlaner to have the potential to double soak, even though your team usually starts rotating between 2 lanes, as you can often switch to double soaking when your team has some advantage to push, such as pushing with a camp, taking a camp, or taking an objective. For camp timings, as with all maps, you want to capture early and often. You'll usually see teams taking their Impaler camp right as it spawns at 1 minute. If they can, they may look to invade the enemy Impaler camp afterwards, or go contest bottom Impaler camp. If you finish your camp and the enemy hasn't finished theirs, you can safely go bot and make an early start on this camp with an advantageous position. The enemy team will have to go in here, where you can already set up defensive positions in this bush and already have most of this camp cleared. As with any fight you take, make sure you're favored to win if you go for it. This can come from a better comp at this stage of the game, for example if the enemy team has a pre-4 Varian, an offlaner who can rotate to help you sooner than their opponent, if your offlaner is in this lane and their offlaner is in this lane, or if you just have a Dahaka who can rotate to help you at any time, or any other macro advantage. Shaman Camp, because of its high pushing power, incentivizes you to take it right before objective. Often this means you go for around 2 minutes and 20 seconds to be safe, as objective spawns at 3 minutes. If the objective spawns mid lane or bot lane, the Shaman Camp forces a response from the enemy team, as they'll have to send someone to deal with it lest they lose their fort. Even if the objective is spawning top, Shaman Camp still forces the enemy team to clear it before moving on to Shrine, where again, you can take up advantageous positions, this bush, or just in general controlling this space. And it also pushes the lane over to the opponent's side, giving you more vision over the lane and letting you see where your opponents are coming from. On objective itself, most teams will want to force the enemy team off objective so they can capture minions easier, while denying those same minions to the enemy team. Once you've accomplished that, you may want to split your team up. Remember, Even if you have won the objective fight, you still have to spend time actually killing shrine minions. Instead of leaving your entire team on the shrine, meaning you're doing nothing else on the map with those kills you've gotten, you can send someone to soak, push, or take camps. Some common strategies include leaving your 4-man on the shrine while your offlane double soaks, or leaving your offlaner on the shrine while your 4-man pushes the same lane to get an advantage for your Punisher to go further. Sometimes you can also do what's called 39ing it, where after getting a game advantage, you can take your counter up to 39 minions and delay objective spawn to make a play elsewhere. As long as the enemy team doesn't have a significant progress on shrine, this is very safe, as you can go make aggressive plays while saving the shrine for after your other macro options are depleted. If enemies take advantage of your absence to try and get shrine themselves, it's not hard for your team to instantly take their one remaining minion first. For example, if you just won a fight on the shrine and you're up levels, spending time taking the Punisher could just be wasted time, where you could be pushing advantage. So instead you could, say, leave your offlaner on the shrine to 39 it while your team pushes as much as they can, or goes to take enemy camps, or even push an opposite lane where perhaps you have large minions set up. After objective is captured, as the defending team, keep the Punisher's jump attack in mind. If a member of your team gets caught by jump, the pushing team can easily follow that up for a kill. To avoid this, standard practice is to kite the Punisher over your fort wall. A durable member of your team, usually a tank, though Honda works amazing for this, throws an ability at the Punisher over the wall, giving vision of themselves, and allowing the Punisher to jump over onto them. This works especially well if the baiting hero has an unstoppable or a dash to avoid the stun and following damage entirely. This maneuver has many benefits. Firstly, it uses the Punisher jump on a hero that can easily survive it, and in a location where the enemy team cannot easily follow up on it. Secondly, it kites the Punisher to a location your team can kill it easier without the enemy team to defend it. Thirdly, luring it over the wall allows both your wall towers and your fort/keep tower to shoot it, killing it quicker. To counter this, the pushing team generally wants to kill a side wall, which is one of these, as early as possible before the Punisher gets to the wall. That way, when the Punisher jumps, they can go past the wall and follow up, or defend their Punisher easier. If you can get the entire opposing wall down before the objective spawns, even better. In the early game, if the objective is spawning in a lane where you have a camp pushing, you can push with the camp hard to try and get the wall before the objective is even up. If the enemy team is pushing Punisher in the lane where both fort and keep are already down, you can try and lure the Punisher to an adjacent keep. You do this with a standard jump attack lure pattern. You shoot an ability at the Punisher, it jumps to you, and you run over to the keep. If done right, the Punisher will aggro directly onto the keep, spending time trying to kill the keep instead of going for your core. Even if done incorrectly, and the Punisher stops killing the keep and goes for core anyway, you've delayed the Punisher, hopefully gotten some damage to it, and made it harder for the team to push. The first objective on this map is rather weak, as a defense done correctly makes it hard for the pushing team, to get much more than the outer fort wall. Knowing that, ignoring objective entirely to push an opposite lane for equal or greater value is a completely viable strategy, especially if your team needs time to scale and does not teamfight well early. As I said previously, many strategies, compositions, and heroes can work well on this map. The easiest and most common playstyle is simply to play for shrine fights. Combos involving Johanna, Anduin, Gazlowe, Maiev, Deckard, or many other heroes can take advantage of the cramped conditions and rack up multiple kills and immediately win the shrine. You can also play to simply make it hard for opponents to step on shrine at all. D.Va and Alexstrasza are relatively better on this map than others, as Bomb and Dragon Queen respectively make it extremely hard to fight in the shrine at all. Hogger is another standout hero, as every shrine has an angle that allows Hogger to infinitely spin and rack up free damage and minion kills if the enemy team doesn't have enough point-and-click damage to stop him. On bot shrine, that would be this little square pattern, roughly, Mid shrine is the same. Here, here, here to here. And top shrine, a little bit trickier, but usually you just go between these two rocks. Of course, you don't even need to be on the shrine at all. You can play from range. Heroes like Azmodan, Chromie, or Tychus with Odin can deal high AoE damage from very long ranges, which can both constantly pressure enemies who want to fight on Shrine, much like Dragon Queen, and continue to capture Shrine minions, even if their team is the one forced out of the area. But Shrine is not even the only place you can make plays. Pick comps can take advantage of rotational nature of this map to continually find single kills, and make use of their better numbers afterwards to push buildings, take enemy camps, or get easy shrines. Sieging comps can ignore objective entirely, especially at earlier levels, to generate huge structure advantages. If they draft good anti-push and Punisher clear, they can even avoid losing too much from enemy objectives. If the enemy spends full minutes at a time trying to capture objective while you're taking their entire fort, and then you come back and they only get a single wall, that's a winning trade for you any day. The map is also small enough that hypercarry and double support comps can find the fights they want, but large enough that split push heroes can still have a noticeable impact if their team plays right. When drafting, always remember that the goal of the game is to destroy the enemy's core by any means possible. Objective is a powerful tool that can assist you in that, but it is never the only option. And that pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to cover. If you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to discuss. Otherwise, I hope that this was helpful, gave you something to think about, and I'll see you in the Nexus.